hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm Richard, this is Lap of the World, and today we are talking about some car parts. But these are car parts that are actually more important than the function they serve, in my opinion. Let me pull over and I'll tell you why. The box that I'm holding in my hand right now contains what may be some of the most significant aftermarket parts to come out for the NSX in a very, very long time. Not because of what they do, but more because of what they represent. Let's do a little casual unboxing and I'll tell you what I mean. So in full disclosure, MITA Motorsports sent me home with this package from NS Expo 2021, and it contains some of their newest products that they sent me to review. So I'm going to unwrap a pair, as it were. I'll show you what they are, and then I'll talk a little bit more about what I meant earlier. So what was in that package was just a set of these guys. These are your window sash garnish triangles, if you will. They go kind of at the top of the door card. So here's the back one. There's one in the front as well. And no, they aren't the most essential pieces, but they can be kind of obnoxious. In the same vein as what we went through with a knee bolster, when you do have to take these things off, they have a propensity to disintegrate. They have, little mounting tabs in the back, but like we did with the knee bolster, not only is this, the parts that MITA provides, not only are they new, but they're also improved, and I'll show you what I mean. But first, let's pop one of the old ones off right here. You need a little bit of a grip to do this, but we'll see if we can pop it out here. Okay, am I bleeding? No? All right. This was not planned. That just happened. So anyway, what I need to do now is I'm going to swap the little, there are some little metallic spring clips in here that you're going to swap over to your new part. I'll show you what that looks like, and then we will pop our fortunately in hand new piece back on. So these are these spring tabs that we're going to have to reuse. I'll pry those off here in a second. While I'm in here though, I did want to look at one thing that I think is pretty cool that MITA has been able to accomplish, and that is with the leather stamping on here. You can see this is the dead part on this side, and this is the new part over here. It's not exact, but I dare you to tell the difference looking at them when they're not side by side like this. And I think that's kind of a unique thing to keep the the original look and feel of the car while having an updated part. And as near as I can tell, these pieces are they look like a very high resolution, high quality printed part, and they have done some work. I'll show you some close-ups, but on these mounting tabs here, which are usually what breaks, they have done some design work to remove some of the stressor and improve those designs so they shouldn't break as much. But let me pop these clips off and we'll show you what it looks like on the door. So talking about the fragility of the mounting tabs here before we move on with this, I did manage to get these off without killing any, but this one is definitely about to go. You can see kind of a crack there forming. And that's just from the little kind of wiggle and pry that you need to do to get this off. And part of the problem is just how this is shaped here at the bottom. It has these, 90-degree intersections. And, I'm no engineer, but you don't have to be an engineer to kind of understand that curves are better than corners when you're talking about stress points in materials. And if you look then at the comparative version of what MITA has done here, you can see, and I've shown you this, and I can show you this in the diagram, where they've had this now has like curved gussets on it instead of those square shoulders. All right, with our tabs on, let's go ahead and push this thing in place as much as we can. I'm betting it's just going to snap right on, and indeed it does. All right. Now I would say, should have brought a microfiber with me, because honestly the biggest difference that I can tell is that the area around it is dusty, and it isn't. And let me show you though for comparison. So we've got, this is the fit on this from a couple of different angles. and we can compare that with the OEM piece on the driver's side. So one thing I did want to address as we're looking at those close-up pictures is the gap up here in front that some of you may have noticed. Now, as much as I appreciate MITA sending me home with these parts at no charge to review them and share them with my audience, they aren't paying me anything extra to say nice things just to say nice things. However, I distinctly believe that the gap you're seeing here and its inconsistency with my driver's side is not an inconsistency in the MITA part, but rather it's an inconsistency with my door cards. And I say that with a, dead serious with a straight face, that I can feel right here where this door card is kind of bent on the top a little bit, where the other one isn't. But in fact, on that side, there's actually a little bit more of a gap in the back than I see with the MITA part on this side. So, grain of salt with what you're looking at there. As far as I can tell, these pieces are dimensionally exact with the OEM pieces, except when you look at the inside, the changes that they've done, the acknowledged changes that they've done to the mounting pieces to make them more sturdy, and then also the shell is thicker. But I think the thickness goes to the inside, the thickness doesn't go to the outside, so your outside dimensions appear to be exact as far as I can eyeball and measure. But the important part here is not so much what these parts are, or what they do, or where they go on the car, but it's what they represent. And what they represent is the ability of our aftermarket, our NSX community vendors to go back and produce parts that the OEM isn't anymore. What there are of these that still exist out there from Honda Acura are what's going to be there. And, you could probably get some OEM pieces for this if you wanted to, but you're going to pay less and get more, I think, in my opinion, with the MITA part in this case. But more importantly, though, it means that we have third-party vendors that are picking up the slack and ensuring that we can keep these cars appearance-wise and mechanically, in other cases, running on the road. Now, there are plenty of you out there that have NSXs with 20, 30, 40, 50,000 miles. I got 299,000 on this car, and you can just kind of extrapolate with how long it took your car to get there versus how long it would take your car to get here, and that's how long we could plausibly have these cars on the road if we're still able to get basic maintenance parts for them. And that, I think, is the biggest deal here. This is kind of a, one small part for the aftermarket, but a giant leap for the community with respect to what could be possible in the future with additive manufacturing and other techniques like this, exercised by people that have the initiative, like MITA Motorsports, to carry through and produce parts for these cars that may be just unobtainium from an original piece standpoint. And that, again, is what the main takeaway I want today, in addition to MITA Motorsports makes pretty dang decent interior replacement parts. But that's where I'm going to leave it. Thanks for kind of joining me on this little oddball part review and philosophical deep dive into what the future may hold for our cars. But thanks for watching, all you out there in the NSX community. I do appreciate the support. But until next time, I'm Richard, this is Lap of the World, and I'll see you in the next video, if not at the track.